Has it ever crossed your mind why African cities look like this and Western ones look like that? Have you also ever wondered why African cities are littered with rubbish and have open gutters while Western and other cities outside Africa appear clean and well maintained? Does a country have to be wealthy to have well-planned, litter-free streets? In general, why is urban planning in Africa so poor compared to the West and East Asian countries, or even the GCC countries? Take a look at your cities like Onitsha in Nigeria, Kano, Enugu, Abeokuta, Ibadan, Nairobi, Abidjan, Accra, Rwanda, Yaoundé, Douala, Kinshasa, or Kampala. The haphazard urban planning in these cities, marked by open gutters, rubbish-filled streets, inadequate infrastructure, resembles something designed by the same architect. There is often a noticeable absence of trees, pavement, and a structured urban planning when compared to cities outside Africa. Do we need to be wealthy to plan and maintain our streets? How is it possible that we have leaders running the various African countries who see this mess but seem to do little to address it? The average age of most African countries is 60, which makes them older than Qatar, the UAE, or Bahrain. Those countries are way younger than we are. And just 25 years ago, those countries were underdeveloped. The irony is that in the 50s, cities like Lagos, Nairobi, Accra, and Douala had impressive urban planning while under European rule. So what happened? Have we retrogressed while the GCC countries have progressed? So it seems, isn't it? Is it possible that black people can't manage or run countries? Because even black countries and communities outside Africa exhibit similar traits. Do we lack the funds or capability to build, manage, and maintain, or even run ourselves? Well, Rwanda is the exception. Paul Kagame runs a landlocked country that is 10 times smaller than Ghana, Gabon, Uganda, and has a GDP of barely $15 billion, which is less than the wealthiest black man, Nigerian Aliko Dangote. Yet, he has transformed Kigali into a clean, disciplined, and well-organized city. So it isn't necessarily about being wealthy. Every major infrastructure in Black Africa was built by non-Africans. Kenyan motorways, Angolan airport, Nigerian, Tanzanian, Ghanaian, and Senegalese trains, motorways, and every other major infrastructure in Black Africa were built by non-Black Africans. So why is it that after over 60 years of independence, no Black African country has managed to construct a 50-meter bridge or a 50-meter high-rise building? Our streets suffer from a lack of trees, poor maintenance, chaotic driving, pothole-ridden roads, and an overall sense of disorder. What are we doing wrong? Is it corruption, tribalism, or a perceived inability to manage our resources? I ask these questions because I have visited many of the cities mentioned here, and they share similar struggles. It took the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, and others less than 30 years to fix up their country. Why can't we do it in 60 years? While others build infrastructural marvel, we are busy fighting ourselves over what tribe is superior or what version of the foreign religion, Islamic Muhammad or Christianity Jesus, is the correct one. While other nations develop robust educational systems, we are busy complaining about racism and how everyone else hates us. The disrespect towards black Africans is in many ways self-inflicted. No one can respect people whose cities look like this. It took Japan and Germany less than 30 years to go from the brink of total wipeout to fully developed economies. It took China less than 40 years to eradicate absolute poverty, while it took us less than 20 years to inflict absolute poverty on ourselves. In the 80s, Cameroon, Nigeria, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Gabon, and many other African countries had higher GDP per capita than South Korea, Indonesia, China, and many of the GCC countries. Black Africa has had over 60 years to prove the world wrong. Unfortunately, it has proven the world right by reinforcing existing stereotypes. Of course, disrespect is bound to follow. Only in black Africa do we see cities devoid of trees, sewage system, pedestrian-friendly pavement, reliable electricity supply, quality buildings, parks, decent roads, hospitals, and other emergency services. Yet, no other region has a higher birth rate than black Africa. What infrastructure and resources are in place for the endless baby production? What do you have to offer them? The Ghanaian president John Dramani Mahama said in his speech at the United Nations that 25% of the world would be African in a few decades, and that the future is African. Can someone tell him that simply having more people doesn't equate to wealth, a better life, power, or prosperity? Can someone also say to him that Switzerland has a population of only 8 million, but it is greater by all metrics than nearly 500 million West Africans? Can someone also tell him that those Africans who like to brag about their numbers, that one American, Elon Musk, is wealthier than the entire region of Central Africa, which comprises over 230 million people? In other words, Africa is multiplying its already poverty-stricken situation to the point of total exhaustion. This is why black Africa is disrespected. Your skin color isn't the problem, but your inability to use your brain like other races do. Just having more people doesn't equate to wealth or productivity, because we've seen Nigeria, 200 plus million people, Switzerland, just 8 million, produces more, manufactures more, is 3 times richer. 8 million versus 237 million. Taiwan has just 23 million people. Taiwan is richer than the entire West Africa, a region hundreds of times bigger than Taiwan and more people than Taiwan by over 200 times. Yet, Taiwan, tiny Taiwan with no natural resources, produces more than the entire West Africa. Numbers mean nothing. If you think we're wrong, if there's anything you want to add, please leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.